YouTube tells me 85% of you are missing out on new manga every week. Fix that by subscribing today. Authors and artists work really hard on the stuff, so please support them using the links below. What's up, everyone? Dragon Ball Super: The Inexorable Distortion was created by Chibi Dam'Z, the author and artist of the Ardrat series. Essentially, it can be pretty much looked at like the history of Trunks Part 2, because it details the events after Trunks and Mai's timeline is erased and they leave for a new one, instead of choosing to stay with Goku and the others. So please, give Chibi all the love you possibly can using the links below, and if you want a physical copy of his work, I believe they're still available on his website.
Sponsored by Miles Kirby!
At Capsule Corp, in the present or regular timeline, the pair take a look over the city. Trunks wonders to himself, what is peace? That's a question I've asked myself every time I think about my life. In his original world, he and Gohan were the only surviving warriors, and as his mentor, he wouldn't let Trunks face the threat of the androids, knocking him unconscious to protect him. But when he awoke, the entire city had been destroyed, and Gohan was dead. Only after traveling to the past, thanks to the time machine built by his mother, was he able to warn Goku and the others of the events to come. Fighting alongside his father in a bid to eliminate this menace, during his journey, Trunks would become powerful enough to defeat the monsters of his own time, and finally, usher peace into his world. After the fall of the androids, next came Cell. By staging a trap, he was able to attain a quick victory by means of baiting him into a battle while he was still in his imperfect state. The next few years were spent rebuilding the planet. However, Babidi and his mind-controlled minion Deborah would make their arrival, with the goal of freeing a creature known as Majin Buu, bearing the help and sacrifice of the Kaioshin. This plan was foiled, and the wizard and his cronies were overcome. While Trunks believed this to be the end of his struggles, it only made way for yet another peril in the form of Goku Black and Zamasu, causing the time traveler to yet again seek assistance from his friends in the past, fetching Goku and Vegeta. The merging of Black and Zamasu was far too powerful even for them, but the remaining survivors of Earth lent their last strength and hope to Trunks. They were able to pull off a miracle, transforming his broken sword into a fierce ki-based weapon, seemingly putting Zamasu down for good. But as we're aware, it would further take the power of Zeno himself to finally put an end to everything, taking out not only the villain, but the entire timeline. While everything else became lost, Trunks and the other warriors survived through the aid of the time machine. Shortly after their arrival, Whis informed he and Mai could indeed return to a nearly identical future to the one erased due to the intervention of Beerus and the 10th universe. However, they would have to accept the fact of living among their doubles that currently reside there. As the angel offers to tag along to warn the Beerus of that timeline, the god of destruction himself interjects, believing they've helped the mortals enough, and it's time they manage on their own. While Trunks remains concerned, Mai assures him Beerus is right, and it's not like they're going to be alone. They're going to have all their friends. Trunks stands unconvinced. The next morning, having their minds made up, they bid Goku and the others farewell. While Bulma tells her son goodbye, he's shocked to find his father nearby. Out of everyone, leaving his parents again is by far the most difficult, having witnessed the death of his own mother in his normal timeline, and this being the only version of his father he's ever known, leaving him to wonder, will he be able to recreate this feeling of calm and ease in his new timeline? Embarking, Gohan shows up last minute to see him off, bringing Trunks to tears seeing his old mentor. As many goodbyes are, this was also the beginning of a new life for them, but the fate that awaits them is completely uncertain. Appearing at the Capsule Corp of the future, it's torn to shreds. Jumping out of the time machine, Mai shouts that they should have arrived before Goku Black, but as we've seen previously, time travel can change a lot of things. Bulma confusedly calls after her son, who's elated to see she is still alive. However, she can only produce tears believing she's in a dream, requesting she elaborate. It would seem that Trunks and Mai of this time were already murdered, walking them to their own graves. Bulma explains that the destruction of Goku Black has indeed begun, leaving Mai horrified, and Trunks dreading that coming here has already changed things for the worse, knowing he must stop Zamasu before it's too late. A few hours later, the time traveler explains everything to his mother, admitting that he failed to save his own world, and they ventured here to make a better reality for their own age, vowing not to let the same events happen again. Believing with the power he's obtained, it should be enough to win. Mai insists that she come with, although noting the danger, she views this as her fight too. Turning to Bulma, she hands her a container, explaining the past version of her requested she bring it. Opening it up, it holds several capsules containing food, water, and basic necessities. Hopefully, it'll be enough for the people of this time. Bulma thanks the pair, begging them to please not die in their efforts. As they head out, she calls after him once more, suggesting they offer the survivors the capsules themselves. It would especially make Haru and Maki happy. At one of the last strongholds, in the depths of the sewers, Bulma announces that she has some great news for everyone. Mai and Trunks have come from another timeline to help take on Goku Black, to the great elation of the survivors, especially the children, who run up to embrace him, begging they be careful as they need him. But this time, Trunks promises things will be different. Nearby, Black sips tea while enjoying the silence, believing this to be the perfect world that he'd always wanted. Without humans, nature is free to progress as it should, shunning the other deities for not sharing his vision, saying aloud, that's why they had to die. However, it would seem Trunks doesn't want to waste any time, landing in front of his hiding place before calling him out. Obviously surprised to see Earth's finest warrior, Black Chorch said he thought he killed Trunks a long time ago, who outright explains who he is and where he's from. But the renegade deity only relishes in the opportunity to murder him twice, having what he calls fond memories of that day, about 6 months ago. The last time this version of Goku Black met Trunks, it was an even more one-sided affair than what we saw, as Mai once again came within mere inches of landing a significant blow. The villain decided he'd had enough with her interference. After seeing her fall, Trunks was able to access a great power. But it still was not enough. And Black vows that, again, he will execute the Zero Mortals plan. But knocking his ego down a peg, Trunks warns him that where he came from, he and Zamasu are already dead. This news stuns the deity, not believing it to be possible that a lowly mortal could best a god. Spilling the details further, Trunks elaborates that he was able to travel to the past with his mother's time machine to seek help from his father and the real Goku. Replying, Black mentions that he's only left Bulma alive because she embodies the heart of human sin with her altering of time. Further threatening, he can't wait to display Trunks' dead body before her once more. But this time, he'll be sure to kill her too. But Trunks has already seen this happen once before, and he won't let it happen again, demanding Mai take cover. Early on, the two seem rather even, but Trunks remains confident. While Black begins to show weakness, he knows that Blast wasn't nearly enough to take out Trunks, yelling for him to show himself. Meeting face to face, Black admits that he'd like to show Trunks one of Goku's more impressive techniques. Charging after him, but then vanishing. Black combines the instant transmission and Kamehameha. While the deity believes this may have done it, Trunks remains standing, doubling down on his own abilities, requesting Black use the Super Saiyan Rosé transformation. Going on one of his monologues, Black rambles on how impressed he is Trunks knows of that form, stating it's one of the reasons he handpicked Goku's body to carry out his goal, as it was forged from a lifetime of fighting. It could stand toe-to-toe even with the gods. Powering up, Black declares this battle over. On Beerus' world in the regular timeline, Beerus shouts for Whis, but is unable to find him. Taking it as odd that neither he or the Saiyans are on planet, with no clue of where they could be, he gets a bad feeling. But then again, it is possible that they just went to Earth for those amazing foods, which the Destroyer finds even more troublesome. But in the future, the fight rages on. harnessing his Super Saiyan Rage form. A light fires into the sky. Even Mai begins to worry. And it appears Black is unaware of this power-up, which Trunks calls him out on, stating his foe underestimated him, leaving Black speechless. While Trunks ignored what this form was at first, he admits that before leaving, he asked Whis what exactly it was. The angel requested he change into this state, but it was unmastered at the time and he was unable to do so. But upon Whis attacking, it was triggered instinctively. While not completely sure, Whis theorized that this characteristic is unique to Saiyan-human hybrids. During moments of great emotion or anger, they've been known to raise their power immensely. Upon balancing this power with his emotions, conscience, and mind, as well as various other factors, he's able to control its full potential. But no matter the power, Black reiterates, Trunks, like all mortals, is nothing but vermin. This most recent skirmish causes the deity to realize he must take Trunks seriously. As the key struggle ensues, Black swears Trunks will join his double in hell, but the Saiyan hybrid isn't willing to give up, promising his father, mother, and mentor Gohan he will make this demon pay. Although Trunks won the battle, the war is not yet over, as Black screams that such pathetic power could never overwhelm a god, barking that Trunks should see the fruitless look of fear on his face. It's the face that all mortals make when they realize provoking a deity is foolish beyond fathom, announcing he will end this with his final trump card, using a technique the North Kaio even taught Goku long ago. And, in fact, Trunks' face is riddled with fear. Terrified, Black means the Kaioken. About 1,000 years previously, when Black, then Zamasu, began his training to become a Kaioshin with the North Kai. There, he learned a great deal of abilities. Upon seeing this potential of his, King Kai indeed taught Zamasu the Kaioken. According to the Kaio, it required a strong physical resistance, something he found regrettable, but nothing he couldn't handle, though he admits it did take a while to master. So when witnessing Goku use the technique in the tournament against Universe 6, he knew that with this body, anything would be possible. Trunks, not having planned for this revelation, knows he must end this now, as Black smugly advises the Half Saiyan. If he wants to keep going, he should probably put in a little of that anger he was speaking of earlier. Using what he's dubbed the Kaioken Maximum, it's far worse than Trunks feared. At their current powers, Trunks knows he doesn't even come close to matching them. Knocking Trunks to the earth and alleviating him of his Super Saiyan form. Black laughs at the audacity the time traveler had to come here, believing he could defy a god, sneering he should have stayed living under a rock, like the mortal insect he is. Out of nowhere, Bulma tries to snipe Black using her special ammo, but like twice before, the plan fails, as the villain nearly wipes her out in retaliation, barking that now she will have a front row seat to watch her son be tortured to death, further telling the gang, after this, he intends to hunt down every remaining human in the world. Mentally defeated, Bulma believes her demise is imminent, Mai not understanding what's happening, as Whis assured them everything would be okay, leaving us to wonder, did Whis send him here to die knowingly, as a means of fixing their interference with time? Bulma responding that without a miracle, their coming to this timeline will have been for nothing. Black moves in for the final blow, ready to deliver his divine sentencing. Then, Zamasu himself appears. While Bulma is unaware of who he is, Mai knows this has only assured their fate. Greeting his counterpart, Black mutters, "Finally, I thought you'd never come." While Trunks, on the ground, does his best to apologize to his mother and Mai for letting everyone down yet again. Going on, Black explains that the gods of this realm did not see eye to eye with his Zero Mortals plan, so exterminating them as well was the only solution. Proposing they join forces in the common pursuit of justice to transform this entire universe into a radiant paradise. While this conversation takes place, Mai explains to Bulma who Zamasu is, admitting nothing can save them now. As he speaks, "I did not come to this universe to help you, imposter. Your notion of justice is selfish." Laughing this off, Black Chore said he didn't think he had such a sense of humor. But this is no joke, repeating he has not come to assist with this genocide, leaving the girls understandably baffled by what's going on, especially Mai. But Trunks can't help but let out a smile, as he's seen something like this before, referring to it as a time distortion, just like what happened with Android 17 and 18. Though, needless to say, not everyone is pleased with this change of character. Zamasu continues. He had learned of this nefarious Zero Mortals plan from Whis, angel to the destroyer of Universe 7. He had ventured to this timeline to check in on Trunks and Mai. While observing the Earth, he realized Black was still here. However, since angels are prohibited from interfering directly with the plans of mortals, he decided to leave for the Kaioshin of Universe 10, in a bid to seal Zamasu away so he could not interfere either. Upon arriving, Whis warned Gowasu of the misdeeds of this doppelganger, as well as the other sins he's committed, such as the killing of the Kaioshin and other gods. Zamasu was able to save his mentor Gowasu's life by a thread, having returned just in time, after the assassination attempt by Black, stating that he has realized mortals indeed do make mistakes, but they also learn from them. Whereas this parasite hiding in Goku's body eliminates them out of selfishness, not justice, announcing he will not sit idly by while a version of himself commits such atrocities on his behalf. So he followed Whis to this planet to make amends for all this devastation and suffering. This causes Black to yell Zamasu is no better than these mortals, and he can die with them. This Zamasu, already known to be weaker than Goku, and not having wished for immortality, can only hold down the renegade god for a moment as he rushes back again. Mai shouts for the attention of Goku Black, tossing a Capsule Corp device, momentarily blinding the aggressor. Acting quickly, Zamasu asks Mai what she intends to do, as Trunks is in no condition to fight. But luckily, they've once again brought help from the past, in the form of a Soul Sensu Bean. And while he's healed and feels much more powerful than before, he knows he still doesn't compare with this monster. That's where Zamasu says he comes in. While it still may not be enough, the two of them will fuse using the Pataras. And with no choice, Trunks accepts this resolution. Regaining his vision, Black can sense something happening, but he's unsure what. The fusion occurs, as the rogue looks on in disgust of what he's witnessing. And, for peace and justice, Zamix is born, representing the ultimate hope between mortals and gods. At Zeno's palace, eons ago, Kusu, angel of Universe 10, instructs Zamasu to wait here. Then they'll go visit the Daikaioshin. When he spots Eiko, the Supreme Kai of Universe 16, upon asking what she's doing here, she mutters it's kind of a long story. In short, she's been helping the mortals of her own accord, against the orders of her superiors. As we know, the Kaioshins have always been forbidden to interfere with the lives of mortals. Eiko did not respect the imposed laws of the gods, as she believed gods and mortals could live amongst one another. Returning to the battle, Zamix gets a new feel for his power, while Black continues to try to refrain from retching. The fused warrior declares that he has 30 minutes to show this fool that mortals and gods can coexist. Asking Black if he ever stopped to watch the mortals, as Master Gowasu taught them, but Black scoffs, reiterating that mortals cause war and chaos. They have no right to exist. Reminding him that among the unworthy are those such as innocent children, families, and other good-standing individuals. One of them was Son Goku. Though, the Body Snatcher shouts that his belief is that this vessel was wasted on the likes of a Saiyan, shouting that he's taken it to a whole new level. Zamix notes that the other Goku Black used to say the same thing, and now he doesn't exist. Rising among the debris, Black says once more, a mortal can't defeat him. Using the power of the Super Saiyan, Zamex knows time is running out. While no fatal blow, Zamex has managed to severely maim Black, saying that without his dominant arm, this battle is all but over. Though, he makes it clear, he believes he can win this with but a single hand. Without any more time to waste, Zamex begins a signature move of Trunks, but this time, dubbing it the Divine Burning Attack. As Black mirrors another iconic technique in the form of the one-handed Kamehameha. An unprecedented key battle ensues, neither warrior willing to give an inch. This will indeed be the final standoff. The surviving Earthlings look on, knowing this will spell their ultimate fate. For the offense is done to the gods, for the mortals be fallen, Zamex announces to Goku Black his sentencing. The blast overtakes him, as smoke and dust overflow the area. Black lies on the ground before Zamasu, struggling to speak. He asks his alternate self if he really thinks justice was done in defending these mortals, asking Zamasu if he remembers what caused the end of Universe 16. But he tells Black that today, he had proof that gods and mortals could work together for the common good. Zamasu believes Eiko and her universe were erased most likely because she took part in conflicts that should not have involved deities. Zamasu himself even had his qualms towards mortals, so he began observing them with Gowasu. The day he encountered Goku, his hatred only grew. While not actually knowing much about Goku himself, upon observing the mortals as a whole, he only knows that there are good ones and bad ones. They are not perfect, and must be accepted as such, and why they must remain neutral towards them. Asking his defeated self if he has any regrets on what he's done, and Black utters he has none. Zamasu then removes the sight of him for good. The girls run over as Bulma embraces her son, who reminds her, only half of which is. Regardless, Mai thanks the both of them for freeing the Earth of the tyranny of Goku Black. This news brought joy to the last of the mortals on Earth. They had survived the planet's most catastrophic peril. Zamasu once again apologizes for the misdeeds of his other self, but ultimately, he helped usher in the peace the others sought so hard to destroy. Whis then appears, telling Trunks he fought admirably, mentioning this has shown gods and mortals can work amongst each other in the name of tranquility. So, another chapter ends in this ever-expanding story, and peace was restored to the Earth. Upon his return, Zamasu was welcomed by Gowasu, Kusu, and Ramush, and officially named Kaioshin of Universe 10. Thinking back to Gohan, his mentor, Trunks once again wonders what peace really is. To find it, he's traveled more than anyone could possibly imagine, taking solace in helping create a timeline where Gohan was able to start a beautiful family. And as much as Trunks wanted to stay, he knew he didn't belong there, believing his story was destined to end without a happy conclusion. Realizing that every battle he's fought, every tear he's shed, has all brought him to this moment. Thanking Gohan for everything he's done for him, his father for having the strength to change who he was, and Goku for never giving up. Because of them, he can finally say he has found peace. And so, the future of Trunks can begin at last.